Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Quantum Soul Code. My name is Jay, and for those of you who don't know me, I am an intuitive channeler, a spiritual activator, and energetic alchemist. I am the founder of Quantum Soul Code and The Portal, which is a divine space of receiving channeled wisdom, guidance, upgrades, codes of remembrance, codes of ascension, and energetic activations, igniting awakened souls to remember who you are and why you came to this earth at this time, to live the life you came to live, to be who you came to be, to step fearlessly into your soul's mission, your purpose, and therefore to create your dream life, which is unique to you. It is your right, your very right of being here at this time. Which leads me on to today's channeled message here on the channel, where I would like to share a pearl of wisdom that came through the other day, and it is so brilliant. This is a secret key of manifesting, which traditional law of attraction techniques, methodologies, teachings don't generally consider. And this is the result of a slightly different way of manifesting, which we're going to talk about these two different ways of manifesting in today's message. And for those of you who feel drawn towards this second way of manifesting, I actually shared a separate channeled message on this, which is the previous video to this one. So if you'd like to check that out, it's called How to Manifest Our Dream Life Through Surrendering to Destiny. And this secret key of manifestation lies within this way of manifesting. And although there's never a right or a wrong way to manifest, there's an infinite number of ways of manifesting, because every single moment of every single day we are manifesting whilst we exist in this physical realm. And so sometimes we mix and match different ways that feel good to us, and certain things will resonate and others won't. And so, as always, with this message, take what resonates for you. Whatever doesn't, just let it roll off like water off a duck's back, and allow the frequencies that are coming through with this channeled wisdom to ignite within you whatever you are destined to be awakened to. And if you are drawn to this message and you're here at this time. And so we just want to start with a caveat to say that everything is a manifestation. So if you are to open your eyes now and look around the room, every single thing that you lay eyes upon is a reflection of something within you, an aspect of self, something, a frequency that we are projecting from within, outside of us, as within, so without. It becomes a reflection of that in the physical. It becomes a physical manifestation. And so when we are able to truly embody and understand and really accept that we are always manifesting in every moment of time, it takes the pressure off, and it takes this distorted perception away that, oh, some people can manifest, other people can't. I'm a bad manifestor or a good manifestor. I'm not very good at manifesting, because that makes it seem like some sort of a skill that only some can do and others can't. Whereas everyone has equal capability to manifest, because we are always manifesting. And it's the way that we are able to exist in the physical and to perceive a physical world is because we are manifesting the world outside of us always. And so we just wanted to share that caveat first to set the tone for this message going forward, because as I previously mentioned, take what resonates for you. And as always, once we know what's going on energetically behind the scenes, and we know how to use something, so we take control over the power of our own mind, now we can shift our perception, therefore shift our manifestations, understand ourselves better, know what works for us better, know what we resonate with. And those who know better do better. And so we become more equipped and more powerful manifestors, because we are doing it our way. We're understanding the power of our mind, and we're applying that to what resonates for us specifically and uniquely. So this leads me on to sharing this first kind of brief summary of these two different ways of manifesting. And so in this channeled message, we're going to be discussing two of an infinite number of ways of manifestation. And so the first way, we'll call it conscious intentional manifestation. And this is what traditional law of attraction methods and teachings show us. It's very action oriented. This is when we know exactly what we want, and that it's very specific. And so we start to take action to create that in our life. We repeat affirmations, we may repeat lines, put up vision boards, visualize, spend 10 minutes every day visualizing and really focusing on living in the end result, as Neville Goddard speaks of, living in the end result. And so it's quite masculine in essence, in terms of it's very focused, it's very structured, it already has the instructions, it knows what you want, what we want, and we are focused on, I am going to get that. And so it has quite a masculine essence to it. Now we'll take a look at the second way of manifesting, which is more feminine in essence. And so take which feels better for you, of course, which resonates. But this is through manifestation, through surrendering to destiny. So this is much more passive. It's much more receiving. It's a much more of a receiving feminine essence. And it has a stronger focus on the creativity of pushing the borders, the boundaries, the realms of imagination to wider realms. And this is a clue, because this is the secret that we're going to be revealing soon, around the ability to manifest beyond your wildest dreams. And that is a clue there. So going back to the first way, conscious intentional manifestation, the challenge with this is that without an expanded mindset beneath that technique to understand the difference between ego desires and heart's desires, being in alignment with truth and not in alignment with truth, it can potentially become a band-aid solution to solve an ego problem, an ego desire. And so if we take a look quickly at the difference between ego desires and heart's desires, an ego's desire is always based off need. It always comes from need. And the purpose or the aim of an ego desire is to fill a void within that supposedly cannot be filled from just being, from our connection to God, to source, to the universe, from this infinite field of abundance and potential that we are a part of. The ego doesn't see it that way. And so the ego will focus on something very specific and say, I need to get that X, Y, and Z to be, or to feel X, Y, and Z. That will solve a problem of not being. So let me put this in example. So let's say the person is not feeling loved, doesn't feel like they're loved. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm not accepted in society, in my family. I don't deserve happiness. What the ego will then say is, right, you need to get this to feel loved. So then the belief becomes, I need a partner to feel loved. I need designer clothes and an impressive job title or level of status and credibility to be accepted in society by my family. I need money to feel safe. I need money to be secure. That's a very common limiting ego desire and ego belief. So the ego goes out to seek those things to bring in, to fill this void. However, the catch-22 here, and this is the distorted nature of limiting beliefs and the way that the ego is wired, is that while that belief is there underneath that, saying, I'm not loved, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving of happiness, I'm not safe, it doesn't matter how many things are brought in from the outside world and how many things are manifested, that belief will rule. So that core perception will still say, but I'm not loved, I'm not happy, I'm not deserving of happiness, I'm not worthy, I'm not safe. And so it doesn't matter how much comes in, it will never be enough to satisfy that void. And of course, the solution to that void is knowing that we are love. We are intrinsically loved. We are always a part of something because we are a part of the universe and we are connected to every living thing and everything that exists. Worthiness becomes a void in higher realms of consciousness because your higher self will know that you just are. You are loved just for being. So the question of worthiness dissolves in higher realms. And so knowing that this is the answer to that void of not feeling loved, well, love comes from God, from source, from the universe. Worthiness, a feeling of worthiness comes from knowing that we are all there is and we are the universe and we just are loved simply for being. Safety comes from knowing that we are the creator. We are sovereign beings. We create our own reality. And so that's a higher perspective of and the higher perspective truth of being able to fill these voids. And so without realizing this and having these ego desires and ego limiting beliefs and core perceptions in our subconscious, this creates an unsolvable loop where you need more money and more money and more money. You get the partner and you still don't feel loved. So maybe you need a different partner. You get the job title and it still doesn't seem to be impressing people and you still don't feel accepted in society. So you need more impressive things. You need the sports car, you need the mansion, you need to impress more. And so it becomes this endless cycle of more, which is trying to satisfy this ego, this void within, but it's trying to satisfy a void that cannot be satisfied. And so you can see how this kind of hamster wheel forms. And that is the traditional conscious intentional manifestation and all of the law of attraction teachings can potentially lend themselves to this band-aid way of using them to try and get ego's desires. And so it's really important, first of all, to know the difference between ego desire and heart desire. And if we talk about a heart's desire is not attached to any need. It is simply a love and an appreciation for something, which is a resonance of recognizing that thing over there. I love it. I just love it for no other reason. I don't need it. I'm just happy to stand here and love it. And what is happening underneath that energetically is that we are recognizing something that is a part of us that we are supposed to be resonating with, and we are loving it simply for being. We're loving an aspect of self. We're recognizing an aspect of self. And therefore, heart's desires become like milestones on our path to lead us towards our highest timelines. They are things that we are either supposed to desire or supposed to bring into the physical fruition. But the ironic thing is, as always, we don't need to. So they'll come in as and when they're destined, because there's no need attached to them. There is no attachment to the outcome. Whereas with an ego's desire and with conscious intentional manifestation, there's a very specific attachment to the outcome. It is, I want to manifest this thing and I need this thing. So it can become very attached to the outcome, and therefore the alternative triggers negative emotion. So the alternative of not manifesting it creates disappointment, maybe fear, anxiety, feelings of unworthiness, not being loved. And so oftentimes when there's a really strong a strong attachment to the outcome, the alternative of not having it is painful. It causes fear or negative emotion, and that, of course, is not a free desire, because there's caveats around it, there's conditions around it, there's requirements. And as who was it that said this? Gandhi. Anytime there is some reason to be happy, that reason could be gone tomorrow. So it's like unconditional love, just loving the desire. And this is a heart's desire. A true heart's desire will just, these are the things that you daydream about, but you don't need it right now. You actually don't really mind whether it comes in or not, but it would just be lovely. You know, maybe we see an image pop up on social media or something where it just looks like a really beautiful dream vacation, and in that moment you think, oh, that is beautiful, and you just share a love and an appreciation for it in that moment, and you're connecting with it. That's probably meant to come in at some point in time, but when there's no desperation or need or requirement around it, then it can come in when it's divinely timed. And this goes for, we can apply this to anything, soulmate relationships, knowing that it will come in when it comes in. Now, when we kind of master this way of thinking and this mindset, what happens is that desires actually combine with premonitions at the same time. So, and this is what I resonate with the most in terms of how I manifest very specifically, actually. But the ironic thing is that I'm not really intending I'm not forcing anything. But the way that I've always found that my most rapid and detailed and my most amazing manifestations have been when I recognize something, and in that moment I think, wow, I love that. I would love that. That is so beautiful, or that looks so fun or lavish, or that looks so luxurious, or that would make my heart so happy, but I don't need it. I'm just really loving it in that moment. At the same time, it becomes a premonition and a knowing that that is going to come in. So it becomes this chicken and egg question of, did you create it or did you predict it? And the answer is both at the same time, simultaneously. And so with this way of manifesting, surrendering to destiny, we focus a lot more on sensations of a state of being. This way of manifesting is a lot more, it's a lot more open. It's a lot more trusting. And it's a lot more focused or tapped into this infinite field of potential to know that whatever comes in will be for our highest good at the highest time that it's meant to come in. And there are not so many requirements, attachments, or boundaries around what we are aiming to manifest or what we dream about. Now, with this second wave manifesting, there is a secret question, which I won't reveal here because this is exclusively for my portal members inside there. I shared this recently inside the portal, that when asking ourselves this question with this second wave manifesting through surrendering to destiny, asking ourselves this secret question, it has a power beneath it. It has a power in the words. And the power of those words ignites the answer inside of us, which actually becomes a sensation, it becomes a frequency, a state of being, a feeling, not particularly specific, although there may be specific aspects and elements of cooperative components and things that we're actually going to manifest that pop up in our mind, in our daydreams, of course. But this becomes, we gain access to the frequency inside of us of a story. And that story will have multiple different cooperative components, but when they come in, we recognize them because they have the same frequency that we've just been able to feel previously before it comes in, if that makes sense. So this is a lot more kind of feeling, sensory, open, explorative, creative kind of way of manifesting. And if you want to find out more about that, there is a separate message about this, so check out that after. But we're ramping up into the revealing this secret key of manifestation to be able to manifest beyond our wildest dreams. Because now, if we take a look at the difference between the two, conscious intentional manifestation and surrendering to destiny. So asking ourselves, pondering and pondering around our desires and how we intend to feel and how we wish to just experience moments, and then leaving the specifics open to the divine. This is the clue. So when it comes to conscious intentional manifestation, the things that we're wanting to manifest are very specific. We know exactly what we want, and there is an attachment to the outcome of that. And so I've done this many times in the past where and often the question arises once you've actually manifested what you want. Be careful what you wish for, right? Or the statement, sorry, be careful what you wish for, because I've done this many times in the past where I've had my sights set on something so specific, and I've tried so hard to manifest. I need to get into this particular, when I was younger, I wanted to go to drama school. So it's like, I need to get into this drama school. I need to. And if I don't know what else I want to do. So it needs to be this one. That's what I want. I've done it with people, with partners. I've literally manifested a relationship with a specific person that I set my sights on. And I definitely ended up saying, be careful what you wish for with that example. A couple of examples like that, actually. And so I have found, for me personally, I don't resonate so much with this first approach because it feels quite forceful to me and it's very specific, and I am much more feminine in essence, which means that I receive. I'm better when I'm being less action oriented, and I'm not built to design to build I'm not designed to build. And you'll resonate with this if you are more of the feminine essence, but rather I like to daydream. I like to be creative. I like to receive inspiration and ideas and daydreams. I like to receive dreams and just revel in those dreams. And I don't want to have to worry about the how that's coming in. And it feels draining and tiring for me personally to sit and have actions around visualizing something specifically every day with an outcome. I love to daydream just for the fun of it, but if I'm forcing myself to visualize every day to get something specific, that becomes really draining for me. And I don't like the anxiety that comes with it, that what if I don't get that? I don't like the negative connotations that come with the alternative and the negative consequences that come with attaching to a certain outcome. Because when we are so focused on one particular thing with such pressure around it, it's kind of setting ourselves up for disappointment if it doesn't come in. And then we end up saying, I'm a bad manifestor. I did it wrong. I'm not able to manifest. But there may be something even better that's waiting for you. And this is the key. And so with conscious intentional manifestation, it's very specific. When we focus on something really specific and we have a really strong attachment to the outcome, I really want that and it has to be that, it has to be that. We don't give ourselves the space to open to something different that is wanting to come in for us. And this is the difference between conscious intentional manifestation and surrendering to destiny. Because when we surrender to destiny, we are in alignment with our truth of exactly what is meant for us with our highest timelines. We are manifesting heart desires. We're out of the game of ego desires, and we're into truth, surrender, highest timelines. Now, when we are in this frequency over here in our state of surrendering to destiny, this comes with faith and trust and openness to not have to be in control. And this is where the feminine essence comes in, because we're not worrying about the how or the what. With conscious intentional manifestation, we are taught to not worry about the how, but focus on the what. Just focus on the what. With manifesting through surrendering to destiny, we're not focused so much on the what either. So we are focusing on how we want to feel in general, how we want to feel. how we want our sensations and our emotions to be in our body. And now we start formulating this frequency and this feeling, and we know what it feels like, but we don't know all of the specifics around that. And we don't know the how, and we don't need to worry about either. So it's a lot more open. And this is the key, because allowing our mind to open this way when thinking about manifestation is there are things that are wanting to come into your life that don't exist yet in your current reality. There are things beyond your wildest imagination that have not manifested yet. Think about the world as it currently stands. There are new products that are created every day. There are new job titles that are created every day. There are new ways of living. There are new destinations that you didn't even know existed that then crop up in your mind, and therefore become crop up in your reality, and therefore become real, become a part of this world that you live in. There's always new things that you couldn't have imagined coming in, new inventions, new ways of being, new ways of living, new opportunities. When we focus on conscious intentional manifestation, what we tend to do is manifest within the barbed wire fence and the boundaries that we know is realistic and that exists. And so the image that they give me is like, if you were to live in in a vast realm of infinite potential, and anything can be born from that infinite potential, and you think, well, I need a home, so you build 4 walls, and then you have the things that you've manifested inside those 4 walls, and you sit there and you say, I want my things around me, I know that this exists, so I want another one of those, and that was quite nice when I ate it, so I'm going to manifest more of that, and I know that's very highly desirable and everyone wants one of those, so I'm going to ask for that, I want that. But there are things outside of those 4 walls. There is infinite potential of things that you don't know that you don't even know that you want. This is what happens when we try to manifest a very specific partner, and when our soulmate actually comes in, they possess qualities and ways of being and values that we didn't even think about, and we didn't even realize that we do actually want that. And so this is when we talk about the ability to manifest beyond our wildest dreams, because, and this is how we open ourselves to manifest things that didn't previously exist. Whereas with conscious intentional manifestation, we may very well be able to manifest those things, but it's very limited, because we're only able to imagine what we know is real for now. If we are able to expand our mind into what we didn't even know existed yet, this is when we activate our feminine essence to be able to receive daydreams, to be able to receive inspiration, where we may have $1 million ideas, or we may have a vision of something that doesn't look real yet. But just because it isn't real yet, we've just been given access to that through our connection to the divine with our feminine essence. And so it opens up a world of manifestation that is beyond our wildest dreams, because we are opening ourselves to say, higher self, universe, God, you know what I want and what is best for me in my highest timelines at this time. So bring me whatever is best for me. I might not even know that exists yet. Bring me a way, a channel of which money flows through that I didn't even know that was possible. Bring me a job title that I didn't even know was possible, but that is literally my dream. It is everything I dreamed of. And so what's happening is that anything is possible, and your higher self knows this is possible and that's possible. But what our ego mind does is apply boundaries around what we know to be real or realistic. So we wouldn't tend to sit down and say, right, I want a unicorn. So because we don't think that a unicorn actually exists on this planet, or most of us, or I want a car that flies. So for my next car, I want a car that flies, because the ego would say, what are you talking about? There are no cars that fly. Pick one that exists in this world and choose that you want. So we don't tend to focus on things that are that are apparently non-existent in our mind. But the difference between these two ways of manifesting is that in this second way, surrendering to destiny, we're not really focusing on specifics anyway. What we're doing is we're opening a doorway to be able to bring new inventions, new ways, new manifestations in that are even better than we could possibly imagine through the boundaries and the restrictions of what currently exists. And therefore, we open our mind to be able to create those things in the physical as and when they are divinely guided. And so to put this into kind of layman's terms, or to be able to apply this specifically to scenarios and situations in our life, this may be the difference between you wanting to manifest a specific a specific monetary income through, let's say, maybe you work for yourself and you say, right, I want to make 10K this month because everyone teaches how to make 10K months. So it's just what's widely available to everyone. So I want to make 10K month this month. And how are you going to do that? Well, okay, that means I need to have X amount of clients. So I need to do X amount of, marketing or put myself out there in this way. And then I'm going to get that thing that I want. It's very specific. I'm going to visualize it every day. But meanwhile, knock, knock, knock. Someone's trying to knock, a higher self's trying to knock on the door to say, did you know that you can also allow money to flow to you through this channel, which is maybe even more joyous to you, or maybe a better fit for you around your schedule and your body clock and the way that you like to spend your time. Did you know that money flows this way? Because you're just literally focusing on this one specific thing. And of course you can get that if you focus on that, but have you even considered this? And the answer to that would be no, because we didn't even think of that. We're not even thinking of it. And you can apply this to anything. Think of anything that you're wanting to specifically manifest and ask yourself in this moment, what if there's something even better that I don't know exists yet coming for me? And this is the difference between these realms of manifesting. And this is the era that I am channeling through, we are channeling through inside the portal, because it's this new era of manifestation through alignment to our truth, to our destiny, and surrendering to our destiny, which means we become pioneers. We open new doors. We're able to bring new opportunities and new creations onto the earth that is outside the box. And most of us that have these really high impact missions here on this earth to help shift the earth into new earth frequencies, to help humanity, to help the planet, and to create our own dream life in the process, we are not really inside the box. We're not really that way. We're visionaries. We are designed, everyone has different roles, but we are mostly designed to be outside the box and being on the leading edge of new systems, new processes, new ways of living, more enlightened ways of living, more free, more abundant, more prosperous, more loving, more exciting, more adventurous. And so to be that limitless, to be that visionary and that pioneering, if that's a word, it doesn't really help to be stuck inside a box. That kind of energy is very expansive. And so when it comes to creating, now we get to create magic, and we get to create outside of those boundaries of what we think is realistic and what we think can be manifested. And we get to manifest beyond our wildest dreams because we've expanded our mind outside of the barbed wire fence that we put around our ability to manifest. And so I know that this will strike a chord, and I can feel it already hitting something to say, oh yeah, when for those that maybe you found yourself wanting to manifest something specific, and then you find yourself either feeling a little bit unfulfilled when it actually comes in, and then wanting something more, or feeling like you got the thing you manifested but it didn't really bring that level of excitement and expansion. This is what we want to feel, expansion, that you are hoping for. Or you find yourself in the midst now of trying to manifest something, and all the while thinking there's something's missing. You want more, and maybe even feeling a little bit depressed that you have to manifest something that you think is realistic, but that's your best. What is that? Your best choice? In this second way of manifesting. And again, there's no right or wrong. I definitely focus on specific things sometimes, and other times I'm just a lot more free. The majority of the time I'm now in this realm of manifesting through surrendering to desire. So I'm focusing a lot more on what is truly destined for me, that I don't know about yet, because we're also creatures of comfort and creatures of habit. And so it's very easy for us to just go back to the same old of, well, I want this year, and that was fun last year and the year before and for the past 5 years, so I want that again this year. But it's like, but what if there's something even better, even more juicy, even more delicious, even more exciting, expansive, adventurous, that is wanting to come in? But we have to surrender, we have to be open to be able to allow the things that have not even that don't even exist yet in our considerations to be able to come in. And this is a whole other way of manifesting. It is a skill in terms of a mindset. It's not something that some can do and others can't, but it is a skill in terms of practicing that mindset and doing the work to get to that point of faith and surrender, to be able to say, right, I'm open. I'm fully open to feel into these sensations of this feeling that I want to feel. And then you might start to see little snippets coming in, premonitions, cooperative components of the manifestation. I did this recently and I shared a separate message, I think through my mailing list, around how I ended up manifesting something when I just dropped all of the expectations around it, because I was trying to manifest something specific. I was trying to manifest accommodation in a particular place that I was guided to go on the other side of the world from where I now am. And I went into action oriented mode to say, well, if I'm being guided to go all that way, I'm not going to go all that way for, why am I going? I've got to have all the cooperative components lined up. So where am I staying? Who am I meeting while I'm there? But the most important question and pressing for me was, where am I staying? So I went into action orientation mode to try and find a suitable accommodation. And I record music as well. So, and I have a lot of requirements around what I love in an accommodation. I have my specifics that I like to be able to wake up and see the ocean. It needs to be light, it needs to be bright, it needs to be surrounded by nice art on the walls, and have a good space for recording my music. And so I kind of had these specifics that I know what I like, but of course my higher self knows that as well. And when I ended up just just completely dropping the specifics, and instead just opening to, this way that I'm wanting to feel, I started tuning into a frequency of what it would feel like to be there at that time, because I don't know why I'm guided there. I don't know why I'm supposed to be there. I'm following the guidance. It will unfold as it unfolds. I don't know the whole story yet, and that's fine. But I started to feel into the frequency of being there. And I felt how I'm going to feel when I'm there. And that was enough for me. And I left it. I went to sleep, and I woke up the next morning to a message from someone, a friend of a friend, offering me her accommodation while she goes on holiday. And it's everything that I love and would want in an accommodation, but it's in a different area that I would have even considered. It had lots of different little things that I wouldn't have even thought about that were even better than what I was trying to force, what I was trying to manifest. And so that's just one kind of minor example of what this can do. I've got many examples of when I've just surrendered to, whatever, whenever it's divinely guided. And like I said, we mix and match these. So it's not that we'll always be in this way of manifesting, just always kind of open and not have any specific dreams and desires. But this is to be able to open up to this mindset first. It then also changes our approach to conscious intentional manifestation, and this is why we're always guided to say this or something better. So that is acknowledged through law of attraction teachings, where we're guided to say, I want this or something better. So we kind of leave that aspect of mystery open. But this is next level. This is going into things that don't even exist yet in this reality, as we know it, because the thing is, they do exist. It's all overlaid on different layers on top of each other, and we're living in these realms of, on the same planet, living very different worlds, all on top of each other in different frequencies of the way that it then therefore manifests. And so we live in a realm where we are satisfying our ego's desires, and conscious intentional manifestation often lends itself to that very well. And then we also live in a different desire, which is a higher frequency above that, because we've raised our consciousness to be able to get there. So it's a higher frequency of existence. And again, there's no right or wrong between lower or higher, or judgment. That's only subjectivity and duality that makes us judge. There's no judgment. It's just everything just is, and everything's perfect. But then there's this other realm of reality where we are existing, yes, but creating our heart's desires. And so we're living different worlds on the same planet. And this is something that we shift ourselves by shifting our mindset into this ability to trust, to have faith, and to follow the guidance that is in alignment with our destiny, which will be very different guidance than what we may be used to when our ego is guiding us secretly. And so if you resonate with this message, and if you would first of all like to understand better, or to activate your energy and be inspired to feel safer to actually receive and to trust and get into this state of being, of absolute faith, to surrender to God's plan, to destiny, to your destiny, the blueprint that you already agreed to live out when you came to this planet, which we've all forgotten. If you feel drawn to move into this world more, this way of thinking and feeling, then I have a journey on the Quantum Soul Code website that you may resonate with, called Safe to Receive. It's a 5-part journey, 2 masterclasses and 3 powerful energetic activations to release and clear all of the blocks around not feeling safe, and not being safe to receive. This was something that I channeled through my pilgrimage to Egypt in 2022 in the Magic 222 year. And it's so powerful. And so I've put that into a journey on the website. So I'll link that in the description box below. And if you feel like you align with this new era of manifestation, of creating your dream life through surrendering, and this feels really good and gives you that kind of sunshine energy and that light inside of your body. It makes you feel free. When you think about creating your dream life and surrendering to destiny, and you feel ready for that, then you may like to check out the portal, and you'd be so welcome to come and join us there. There's a private community of very powerful awakened souls and all unlimited access to channeled wisdom, channeled guidance, energetic activations, monthly activations, journeys, and more, much more. So I'll link that in the description box below as well. But for now, I'll just say this feels like it's complete because my consciousness has come back to the room. So I'll just say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. And if you resonate with this and you'd like to support my channeled wisdom here on my channel, then feel free to give this video a like. You can subscribe to the channel and you'll get notifications of upcoming channeled wisdom and messages, and drop me a comment if this resonated. I always love to hear the comments, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much.